Hello.
Hi there, this is Melanie.
And this is Scotty O. Happy Valentines today, everybody.
Hey guys.
This is one of the special times of the year where most people are thinking about romance, and that is today's topic: how to bring more romance into this Valentine's Day and every day. You don't have to wait until Valentine's Day to let that special someone know that you love them. So we're going to talk a little bit about some Valentine's Day tips, and we are also here to let you know about our next Empowering Austin Now workshop. It's actually going to be we're going to be talking about Tantra next weekend, along with 4 other gifted speakers that are all experts on conscious sexuality and love. So come check that out. But anyway, let's give you some tips, because if you're like me, you might have been scrambling yesterday to think of some romantic things to do for today. And if you're panicked because like, oh my God, Valentine's Day is here and I haven't actually created anything yet, that's okay. What you can do is just say, let's celebrate Valentine's Day every day this week, or, if another thing we're talking about is taking turns. Like if one of you is planning the Valentine's Day, let's say your partner is planning the Valentine's Day tonight, then you can make a surprise Valentine's Day surprise later on this week. So, you don't have to do it just when everyone else does it. I like to do it on different days than everybody else, because today they also raise the prices and things like that, which, I don't know. And everyone's kind of competing for the romantic spaces. So sometimes it's better without all that.
And I like to celebrate on the day. So make sure you know if your partner is expecting to have a day, because they might be a little annoyed if you don't plan a special romantic day for them on Valentine's.
This is a Tantra philosophy. So whenever you have 2 opinions, you see if you can find a both and solution. So we're going to celebrate Valentine's Day today. We're going to celebrate it later this week, and we're going to celebrate it a third time, just because that's the way we like to be. So if you're have a difference of opinion, then do both. So let's say, how do you make Valentine's Day or any day romantic? Ron?
All right. So one of the secrets, which hopefully is not too secret, of being romantic and making times special and romantic with each other, the first secret is being present. So just being present with your partner and letting go of all the chitter-chatter thoughts in your mind, gazing into their eyes, putting away your phone, electronics.
That's a big one. Nothing's unromantic as like they're trying to have a deep, intimate conversation with you, and you're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, put those phones away. And just focus on being present with your partner, gazing into their eyes, slowing down your breathing so you can get centered in your body and connected with your partner. Maybe touching. We're big touch fans. So like maybe holding each other's hands, hand on the knee, cuddling at the booth whenever you go out to eat. What are some other ideas, baby?
Well, and another kind of that leads into this is I am a big believer in scheduling date nights. In fact, we should do more than we do, but we, if you, obviously, most of you are probably having a special date night tonight. My suggestion is have a date night every week or at least once a month where you have this special time. And it doesn't have to be, going off and taking a getaway vacation. That's great. But it could just be like what Mel was talking about is schedule a few hours, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 hours of time where you can just be connected, where you're putting away the phones, where you're saying, okay, I'm not going to talk to my parents, we're not going to clean, we're not going to do work, we're just going to focus on each other, and we're just going to make it about us, and then change it up. Oh, and you were talking about taking turns.
Oh yeah. So one of the great ideas of tantric dating is taking turns with being the giver and the receiver. So for many of us, we find either being the giver or being the receiver to be the easier position for us to take. And sometimes we feel like we need to give if we're receiving. So like we've got to give back if we're also receiving, or we feel guilty or like we feel shame about just receiving. And some people, unfortunately, out there have this sense of entitlement. I still hear this as a thing where like guys like think that it should all be about them and like don't put the attention, effort, and energy into us ladies.
Guys think it should be all about us?
I've heard this. I mean, I've not experienced it myself, but I hear this over and over and over of complaints that I hear. So just to even out the playing field, it's really lovely to take turns with who's being the giver and who's being the receiver. So one date, the ladies can plan the date and make it romantic and be the giver and be tuned in to what their partner wants and what their desires are, and even ask them, what would you like to make this day special? Or what would be your idea of a magical evening? Or what are your desires, honey? So I would plan the date for him, and during lovemaking, I would focus on him being the giver myself while he receives. And then on the next date, we switch roles, and then he becomes the giver, and I just get to open into receiving, and I don't have to worry about also reciprocating in the giving. Mm-hmm. I usually will still be a little bit of back and forth reciprocation, sure, but it's still like about just surrendering and embodying fully one role without feeling like you've got to go back and forth all the time.
Yeah, I've read that you can't fully enjoy an orgasm to its ultimate unless you surrender. And if you're focused on worrying about what the other person's happening to them and how to please them and so forth, then that can get in the way. And so it's again, most of the times it kind of blends and it becomes organic, and people, give and take and whatever, or not give and take, but basically you're both taking initiative to be in charge.
Active, passive, giving,
and
receiving,
that's normal, and that's fine.
Yang.
But what Mel's talking about is make it a practice. Like, just say, hey, today is my mystery date night. Some of our friends, Dawn and Sita, they do this every month, where it's not only does one of them take charge, but they make it a mystery, and they do something really special that the other person doesn't know about. So it's a surprise date as well, which is pretty interesting. And by the way, thanks for joining us, Mira, Keith, Jeff, Lisa. Appreciate y'all jumping on. So let's see. Yeah, and so by practicing this, and this is both on dates and this is also in the bedroom, it's just a great way to notice, what am I typically doing? Am I the giver or the receiver? And it's also sometimes if you're having a lot of dates where you're not getting what your needs are or what you're met, even if you're telling your partner, when you're in control and saying, this is my date, you can actually, Melanie does this sometimes, she creates the date that she really wants me to give her, but it's all good. And if you have lots of dates, then there's plenty of opportunities for everyone to get what they want.
Yeah, I find sometimes I don't know how to read his mind and give him the date that would be ideal, but I know what would be ideal for myself. So sometimes we take that opportunity where I plan a date that I think is amazing, that I really want to do, and then on his date, he'll plan a date that he thinks is amazing, and so then we're also getting to fulfill what we really want to do by taking charge on that date.
But it's good to ask. This is another important point, especially for married couples like us, been around for many years. There's a tendency to start to read each other's minds, and especially when you do Tantra, by the way, you start to actually be able to do that, and you connect more deeply. And it's not foolproof, and there's a danger of when you can read each other's minds 80-90% of the time, that 10% will get you. So you gotta not always assume that you know what the other person wants, especially when it comes to presents or gifts or dates or special moments when the other person really wants to be cherished or loved or whatnot. It's okay to ask, and some people say, oh, well, that takes all the romance out of it. Well, then do one without asking and do one with, again, both and. It's a bountiful world, you can take all the time that you need to put into romance, and it doesn't take, it's not like you have to go out and do anything. It just means you have to take time and devote it to each other, and you can make it special.
Okay, some other tips on how to make date nights truly special. Here's some good old tips that I really appreciate and I find is really common from the feminine perspective. Number 1, clean house. So prepare your home as a temple. Clean the house up so that you don't have all these ideas and chores, and every time when my house is messy, every time I see the mess, I start feeling like I need to go clean it, or it like bothers me.
It's
So
not a
this is the
romantic thing to
that
do during
bothers
the day.
me.
Yeah.
So having a clean house helps me to feel, it's so pretty and relaxed, and there's nothing I have to do. So either you can help to clean and prepare the space for your partner beforehand, or with your partner, or hire someone
hire
to
a
take
maid.
care of it. Oh my God, I gotta say.
That's a nice day tip. While you're out on a secret surprise date or something, you can have a housekeeper come and clean the place while you're gone. It's all nice and romantic when you come back.
Another secret tip I have for that one is I keep one room, our Tantra room, clean all the time. So even when the rest of my house or my bedroom can be a mess, we can always retreat into my beautiful, clean, prepared Tantra temple that is ready for romance.
Yeah, and that's also for meditation, you know. I mean, for us, meditation and romance go kind of hand in hand, but it's good to have a dedicated place where you can, where you're not sleeping, where you're not working, where you can actually be romantic or play and so forth. Then it could be out in your yard or something too, you know. We have a tantric temple we created out there for just that purpose. Cool.
Other
hi,
tips,
Mark. Kristen, how you doing?
Other tips on preparing your space for romance. Again, something us ladies especially really enjoy. Flowers. Flowers are beautiful. I went out and bought myself some flowers so that I could love myself with some beautiful bouquets.
I bought her some flowers, which she kind of preempted me, but that's okay. Both and you can have multiple things of flowers.
And I like to have flowers in every room, so now I have flowers in every room, and it's awesome. And I don't get that very often. I don't treat myself that often, but it makes me very happy to go from room to room with bouquets of flowers in it.
That's a good point. Is just to add, love yourself. It all starts with self-love, right? So, you know, even if you have a partner or you don't, or you're single, or you've been in a marriage for 20-something years, it doesn't matter. Start with loving yourself. You know, if you take care of yourself and do what you need first, then you're better able to give to others. A lot of people lose sight of that, and they push themselves, or they try to just do whatever the other person needs and sacrifice their own needs, and that's a short-term strategy. So start with loving yourself. You can make it amazing for yourself, and then you can share it with the one you love.
Yeah. The other thing I did for preparing my home to be a special place for this week is I was out and I saw some beautiful candles, and I got really excited about it. And my candle collection was down. I'd gone through them. So I purchased a whole bunch of new candles, and I put them throughout the house. So now I'm prepared to have my whole house lit by candlelight for romantic times. Mm-hmm. And just to have it smell beautifully too. So that leads into my next tip. Engage the senses. So we talked about making your house beautiful is engaging the eyes. You can also wear pretty clothes or sexy lingerie to engage the visual senses.
Guys, take the effort to take a bath and maybe shave. I haven't done that yet, or do whatever you need to do to make it a little different. Put on your special clothes, that your sexier shirt or something that makes the person see that you've taken a little extra effort to appreciate them.
Yeah, he's not wearing pajamas today. He actually dressed up to look extra special in my favorite color. Yes, I like pink. This is my favorite shirt right here.
It's pinkish, reddish pink. We have a difference. We see colors differently. It's interesting. Anyway.
And we already talked about engaging smells with candles and flowers. And I have a lovely oil diffuser with scented oils.
I bought cologne for a surprise. I almost never wear it, but I thought I'd give it a shot.
I know. I do like it, actually. It turns me on just smelling him. I mean, smelling him in general turns me on, but that cologne does add that extra something. And then food. So we bought the chocolate covered strawberries, and honestly, I got really excited when I went to the store, and I bought a lot of really yummy, tasty treats so that we can enjoy tasty, romantic times throughout the week. And it's a surprise, so I can't tell you yet. He doesn't even know. And I'll just whip them out and be like, ta-da! I had this feast of tastiness.
For all you splooshers out there, even if you aren't a sploosher, that's actually like a fetish around food. Feel free to be a plate. Like you can place strawberries and fruits or whatever. Honey, you can put it over the person's body and then take turns eating off of each other. Figure out creative ways to feed each other without using your hands. That's a great one. You can do that. It's a good group one too.
I do recommend it. Yeah.
Okay, so also, let's see. There's different love languages. Without getting too much into that, you can engage all of them especially on something like Valentine's Day. So it's like taking time, using words of affirmation. And we'll get to that a little bit more in a second. I love you too. Not just I love you, but like say something that's great about the person. In fact, let me just finish the thing and I'll come back to that. Touch is really important. Like use every opportunity to touch each other, flirt with each other. There are gifts, which of course is we're doing, and acts of service, which could be like cleaning the house or preparing the space or something before you have the special date. I like to talk a little bit more about words of affirmation. It's rare that we take the time to tell the people we love how great they are and all things we love about them, And it's and you can do this with yourself too, by the way. It's like you can start with like all the things I love about myself, and then as weird as that sounds, and then you can even share it with your partner and be vulnerable and share that. And then you can have them say all things I love about you, and then vice versa. It's a nice little exercise. One of the things that one of my friends does is he wrote down every day the thing he loved most about his partner, and he did it for a whole year, and he gave her the book, and she said that was the best gift she ever got, and thought of something different every day. But more importantly, it changes your perception. Like whatever you focus on is you give energy to becomes more real. So the more you focus on the things you love about your partner and how great she is and how sexy she is and wonderful and everything, then the more that becomes alive and real for you. So by focusing on all the things you love about your partner versus the things that irritate you, like the toilet seat or whatever, then you can focus on, how beautiful her hair is and how soft her skin is, whatever, her personality, her, strength, her charisma, all these things. The more you focus on the good, the more that will become a romantic and alive for you. So it's a win-win scenario. And make love notes. You leave them around the house. Write a special letter, every once in a while, and out of the blue, if they're surprised, that adds a little bit of something. So don't just do this on Valentine's Day. We're talking about, you're giving you tips on doing throughout all the year,
One of the great things he does for me is he writes love notes and then he sings them to me. So, basically he writes these songs. And sometimes he will sing them to me in front of everybody. So it's like, oh, my honey loves me and he doesn't mind sharing with the world, shouting from the mountaintops to everybody exactly why.
It's like I'm willing to be embarrassed and willing to just be out there. That's the other thing. A lot of people, feel like you have to keep love secret and special and so forth. I think the more you put it out there, the more you love, the more outrageous and bold you are, the more, then not only are you inspiring your lover, but you're inspiring the world to be romantic too. So it's okay to do public displays of affection. It's okay to shout, you love someone from the rooftops, It's like, I'd much rather live in a world where everyone's being loving and connected and shouting from the rooftops how much they love each other than hiding it and pretending it's something bad, wrong, and shameful. So, what else? You got some tips? I got some other things.
So we covered time, words of affirmation, touch. We talked about how you can take advantage of cuddling and
give each other a massage,
Massage
table.
I keep a table in my Tantra room so that we can regularly massage each other.
Or you can get a massage for two. Like if you don't know how to massage each other or whatever, I recommend you learn. But for Valentine's Day, my thing is you can even if your friends are somewhat decent at it, you can take turns. Like have you both getting massaged by your couple friends and then vice versa. And, if you're trying to save money.
We like couples massages. We do it at least once a month.
Or you can do a group massage where all three of you massage one person and you rotate. That's always kind of fun. Anyway, so other things. Okay, so here's some ideas on just how to make your date night special, because some of you say, "Oh, that's all great, but how do I be creative?" Because here's the thing: if you do something new, that actually creates excitement and newness. Also, if you do something exciting, something that is that's why people like scary movies, because it's that rush that you get. Then that's sometimes good too. But the the point is if you can do something that is exciting. Oh, it's like a thrill. Like if you do something like bungee jumping or jumping out of an airplane, or rock climbing is maybe not so crazy. I mean, those are you race car driving. We're supposed to, as Ecstatic Hearts is supposed to do a racing thing here soon, like go-karts. It doesn't really matter what it is, but those are fun to do because if you get that surge in adrenaline of excitement, then that's associated with your partner, and that just makes love more exciting. We also, let's say creative. I think theme nights are fun, right? So, instead of just like going to the movies and having dinner or something, just as an example, like we just watched the Gray, what was it?
50 Shades Free.
Free, that's right, sorry. 50 Shades Free, sorry. What you could do is like make it a theme. So maybe, if you're really bold, you can like put a collar on her or him. It's better for him to wear the collar in public. And then like have a chain and like take him in and watch the show and then like tie him up and, you can have like the whole thing. Or you can do like a Western theme or something, like get cowboy hats and boots and go,
horseback
riding and go to the
country dancing.
And so, so you can make it a whole
barbecue.
Thing. And talking to Texas twang because we're from Texas, so you can do all sorts of, or you can make it like gangsters and, go gambling or something, or you could, the point is just make it creative.
So creative.
You could make it fantasy, if you're really bold, you could dress up in medieval attire and just go out to the real world, and just, be romantic and have people look and stare at you and so forth. If, it's okay.
We got married at a Ren fair. It was a traditional fairy tale wedding.
Yeah, it's very romantic. So if it's too much for you to go onto the real world dresses, medieval or fantasy stuff, then go to a Ren fair or something and do it. In fact, that was happening. Is that still happening this weekend?
I don't know.
Sherwood.
There's Sherwood Forest is happening soon near Austin.
Yeah, we love Sherwood Forest. Anyway, so be creative, come up with new ideas, leave little notes. Do something a little special, do something a little different. Someone actually told me yesterday an idea is a scavenger hunt. Like have a scavenger hunt around the house where you leave clues, and then like for everything they find, it's supposed to reinforce something special about them. Like maybe you have a poem about how graceful she is, or some gift that shows how she's strong or something. So I don't know. There's lots of things to do. Go ahead, you guys. You have any ideas out there? Hi, Kristen. Hi, Hannah.
Okay, and one last thing to talk about. Whenever you're going out on a date with a special someone, especially when you're going out with someone new, but even when you're going out with your partner that you've been with for a long time, remember, consent is sexy, especially when you get to the physical, romantic, sexy parts. Ask your partner if they can kiss you, especially when it's a new person. And ask your partner every step of the way whenever you're wanting to progress sexually and physically, if it's okay. So even with partners that we've been with for a long time, when you get into the sexy parts, ask if they're wanting you to do this or if you can do that. Or especially before any penetration or touching of the genitals, I feel like it's really important to ask if they're ready for you to do this, or if they want you to, or if you may. And just, you can be in your sexiest voice when you ask. But I think it's always sexy to ask versus just assume. Because even with our partners that we've been with forever, I'm not always ready to go to this place or that place. I'm not always ready for him to enter me. I like for him to ask, and sometimes I say no because I'm not ready. But that doesn't mean I don't want it at some point during the session. So just remember, ask every step of the way when you're wanting to get sexy and physical with your partner to see if they're ready to progress and move to the next step. Because just because you go on a date with someone doesn't mean you're going to get sexy with them later on, or that they want to go all the way and do everything that you want to do whenever you're ready. So ask each step of the way and enjoy a romantic, sexy evening.
Now, does that, what about kissing? You said for kissing, should I ask you every time I kiss you?
Not you. You have permission to kiss me, baby.
Well, and here's...
But if you other people, who I was not partners with you, I would want to be asked. I'm not someone who wants to be just surprised by the kiss. And almost everybody I've ever gone out with has asked, and I find it extremely sexy. So I'm not always ready to kiss.
And even me, I might ask non-verbally. Like I might come in for a kiss and wait so she's waiting for it, and then kiss. And so, it's good to check in, because, and here's the thing, just because you let's say you've had intercourse with someone on a date doesn't mean that they want to have intercourse with you again, or at that time. So, so just ask. So what else? I think we covered a lot of good topics here.
I think that's good for today. I think y'all need to go out and get romantic.
Stop listening to us. Go out there and create some romance. Go find some people. And we'll do another talk on if you don't have the love of your life yet. We'll bring up that on one of our future Tantra Talks. And actually we'll talk about the next one next time. Anyway, so also, if you're just now tuning in, just mentioning that we have the next thing we're going to be teaching at is
Austin Empowered Now.
Austin Empowered Now? Austin something. Austin Empowered Life Now. So it's coming up next weekend. It's not just us. It's a conglomeration of a lot of experts and guest speakers on consciousness, sexiness, and love. So come check out the great team. It's inexpensive from 11 to 7 at Costa Luz. There's a link here on the thing if you want to join us.
February 25th.
Sunday. So anyway, other than that, have a great time tonight. Have a great week. And make romance every day part of your life.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.